Today, boys and girls, we're going to look at multiplying and dividing decimals. If I have the number 42 and we want to multiply it by 12, these are just whole numbers. But let's go ahead and practice multiplying, and then we'll talk about how the decimal will interact with this multiplication problem. So I have 2 times 2, which is 4. I have 2 times 4, which is 8. And I'm finished with the 2 in the ones place. So now I can bring down a 0, because now I'm multiplying through by 1, which is in the tens place. So it's like multiplying through by 10. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 4 is 4. Now I'm ready to add these two numbers together. When I add the ones place, I add the tens place and actually get 10, so I need to carry the 1. I add 1 plus 4, and I have 5. So now my answer is 504. Let's say I want to take the same number, but this time when I look at it, I notice that there are some decimals in it. Let's say it was 4.2 and 0.12. How does that interact with this answer and change the value of it? Well, if I just multiply, which is step 1, and now actually take a look at where my decimals are actually sitting, I can just look behind. This is a little shortcut rule that I can count values of how many values are sitting behind the decimal. So when I come to my answer, I want to start from behind and count the same number of values sitting behind the decimal. If there are 3 values behind the decimal in the problem, then there would be 3 values behind the decimal in the answer. So then my decimal point would come in front of the 5, and we would read the number 504 thousandths. So now let's take a look at dividing. If I am actually dividing a number, and I have 504 divided by 0.12. Oh, those look like the same numbers that I'm using before, but this is a good way to check. Is that I really cannot divide if I have a decimal outside of this division house. So my divisor has to be a whole number. So we're going to move our decimal to create the divisor to become a whole number. So I moved him to the back 2 times. If I do that to the outside number, my divisor, I have to do it to my dividend, because I'm changing the value of both. It would be like multiplying through by 100 in the divisor and the dividend. Now my decimal is going to come straight up in my new location. So now I'm just going to think about dividing. Can 12 go into 5? No. But can 12 go into 50? Yes. How many times does 12 go into 50? It goes into it about 4 times. And a good trick over to the side is to have my math facts of 12 so that I can double check my work to see if I'm on the right track. And let's see, 12, 24, 36, 48, and 48 is as close as I can get to 50, so that is 4 times. So we're going to subtract 48. When I subtract 48, I'm left with 2. Bring down the 4. Now I'm going to ask myself how many times 12 goes into 24. And again, I can check my math facts over to the side, and there is 24, and it goes into it 2 times. And I subtract the 24, and I zero out. It's very important to zero out. Now let's check our work. I ended up with 4 and 2 tenths. Is that the same answer that I started with over here at the top? So now I've multiplied and gotten an answer with decimals, and I've also divided to check my answer, and I end up with the same answer on the top. So this is how we multiply and divide.